want to take knives off? How are you here?
What's up? That's Obsidian?
Sniper rifle.
Oh. All the sniper rifle skins they cost a lot?
Yeah. I mean, not the SSG. That one's cheaper. Awesome.
There's no cheap skins like the 40-cent skins cost $10 there or something?
I mean, the cheapest op skin I saw so far was like $25.
That's the gun.
I mean, the skin for it, yeah.
The skin for the gun, the cheapest one you've seen for a sniper is $25. They don't have cheap skins for the snipers. That is a cheap skin for a sniper, $25.
Cheapest I've seen so far, yep.
Really?
Yep.
Is that the gun people use the most? Really?
Well, I mean, it's like one of those deadly if you're good with it. You know, it's one shot, like you're saying, one shot anywhere as long as you hit the shot.
One shot anywhere? You hit him in the foot? Really?
That's what he said.
It doesn't seem accurate. I know he said that, but like, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess I never really shot him in the foot. I always try to aim way higher.
Yeah, I always try to shoot him in the fucking head anyway.
That's
like,
true.
Sniper, I'm trying to headshot.
But if it's that accurate, no, you shouldn't be. You should be going for center mass. Yeah, you should be body shotting with that thing for sure, dude. There's no point in trying to aim higher.
Except for that crispy noise when you do hit that sniper headshot. Like, ka-ting! Damn, it was fucking body that good.
I didn't realize that there's a hit marker sound for it.
It's a little different.
247. You yo'd me back like 10 minutes after I yo'd you?
Yep.
13 minutes to be exact. Okay, damn. In that 13 minutes, I fell asleep, bro. But I woke up a little while later. It was like a little micro nap. That's weird. Woo! Good thing that one didn't last. That would have sucked. I was watching something. I think I fell asleep watching something.
Able to one-shot enemies with one hit to anywhere, bar the legs, regardless of armor.
Bar the legs. You can't hit him in the feet. It's literally body up. Why did they say anywhere? It's not anywhere.
Why does everything say? Like, even he did. Even this thing's like, oh, anywhere except the legs. Like, bro, just say just chest up then. Like,
yeah, it's
say
not
above the legs then. Don't say anywhere except the leg. It's not anywhere then.
It's not anywhere. Why use the word anywhere?
Nah, just say what it is.
It's a one-shot kill above the waist. Like, easy. It's not even... I told you that thing doesn't... Man, I told you it didn't, bro. Because I could have sworn I did shoot someone in the leg one time and they didn't die.
Why would they say it like that? It doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make sense at all. It's so stupid. It's a one-shot kill anywhere except... Like, what? No, the word anywhere is not followed by except ever. That's not anywhere.
That's like saying I'm pretty certain. You can't be pretty certain, motherfucker. Either you're certain or you're not. If you're pretty certain, that means there's some uncertainty there, motherfucker. You're not certain anymore. You can't. Pretty certain isn't a thing. Like, you can't. Pretty certain. No, you're not. Possible.
You're pretty sure is what it is.
I'm pretty sure.
Sure, you're pretty sure.
Yeah, sure, pretty sure, but no, I'm pretty certain.
No, you don't know what certain means. Goddamn it,
makes sense. Don't even make no damn sense. The most expensive stat track right here that I see on the market. One of them for sale, $1,892.
Damn, $1,800 skin for the sniper after those things lost 90% of their value.
The lowest it sold was 11. Well, the thing is with some skins, like they went up in price actually when the thing dropped because fucking like they got cooler and the new engine. Like certain fucking like one of them turned like a white paint. It looked like fucking see-through, translucent, kind of like cum on the skin. I'm pretty sure. So people started buying it more. They're like, oh look, it's funny. Yeah, it went up in price.
Ew.
Yeah, people
cum
really
guns
spend more money on the weirdest shit, but
cum guns.
Yeah.
Ew.
Stat track op. Here, let me get to the back. see it.
That seems like it would be expensive. Like if it's Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. If it keeps track of tracks your stats for you on the gun, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Actually, that's pretty sick.
Proves the price of everything. I saw a video of a dude using these giant crosshairs, like, because you can have custom crosshairs in this game. When you spectate people, they'll see your crosshair. And it's like they can see us with default crosshairs and shit, but they like you see Roey's with his little like super tiny blue crosshair, and if you spectate him,
oh, that's what that
had,
is.
Like, sticks pretty much like sticking out like an inch, 2 inches from each side. And was like, dude was like, yo, what is your crosshair? Like, that is there was a He's like, oh no, it tells me the distance of the P90 when I'm shooting. And they're like, what? He's running on the P90. He's like, yeah, I got about 55,000 kills with the gun. He shows the stat track, like 52,300 kills. They're like, holy. He goes and gets like 3 kills during the round of the P90. He's like, all right, you know what you're talking about. Fucking giant, ugly ass crosshair.
So the crosshair does what for him?
He said it helps him judge the distance of people with the P90. It's like he knows where to shoot or something from there, a certain distance for the recoil. I don't know.
Whatever, dude.
Some method he came up, but it was working though. Like there is a lot of people that have some crazy ass scope or things they say it helps. You know, line it up. This game does have a lot of lineup shit. And like once you get into the higher ranks, grenades, people like line them up at a certain spot and throw it where you can't like block it. It lands right in front of you and then explodes. It's not like you'll see it come down a hallway. It'll come from over top of you and then boom, right at your feet. You can even go into the practice mode and turn on grenade camera.
All right, man. You've been playing this game for a week. Calm down.
No, I've seen a bunch of it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
You can go turn on the grenade camera and like
I'm putting my foot
your grenades go.
It's like I'm putting my foot down. All right, son.
Oh, here's the cheapest off skin right here that I've seen. 80 cents.
Ah, not $25
for a Pit Viper green, well worn.
That sounds sick. Oh man, there's these fucking raptor terminators that I was telling you about last week that I want to that I can't get out of my head, man. I want to learn, like I want to paint some like that and just have them on display, just like a carrot on a stick, just in front of me everywhere I go, just so I can look at it everywhere. I turn to the right, they're just right there looking at me. I'm just kidding, but they do look dope as hell. Damn, I want to go look at them again. I just hope they don't sell. Like, I mean, I hope they do sell, so they go to a home. But I hope, hope they don't sell, so I can go look at them again.
Can't get it out of my head. Oh, this one's sick.
And it's like a faded green color, bro. It kind of looks like Master Chief a little bit with white helmets. Oh, it looks so good, dude. Damn, little
Raptors.
Yeah. NBA team.
The Ford Raptor.
Oh, Ford Raptor. Yeah, very fast car. Fastest truck I've ever driven. Yep.
Yeah. And the I guess some models, not all of them. In the center console, when you pull it up, they got tampon holders in it.
Oh my god. Like dispenser?
No, like little like clips where you can push them in to hold it.
The fuck?
What
is that really supposed to be,
like,
bro?
Oh, my husband actually uses this for me. Chicks' husbands, when you need them, you need them.
I mean, that's kind of gross. Like
people are saying it's funny, like, woman truck, haha.
Yeah, but like, I'm just gonna say that's kind of fucking gross. Also, like, is your bitch leaking? That you need to fucking worry about that kind of shit?
Hey man, some people do.
Cause those Raptors come with white seats. Have you ever seen a lot of them? Did you see? They come with the white leather seats. So is that like a joke so that they don't stain the white leather? Like, I don't know, man.
Here, man, just in case.
Yeah, I think it is sort of a like just in case, so you don't fuck up my truck type thing, which is really gross, man. That's really fucking gross.
Like,
hey, bitch, you leaking on my shit here? Like, no, dude.
Pop it out real quick.
Yeah, dude. Hell, bro, that's so gross, dude.
Why'd you have those? This isn't even like the type I use. Like,
because you're leaking on my shit.
Who told you to get these ones?
Bro, that's so gross. They came with the truck. Like, what? That's all gross, man. I don't like that. I wish I didn't know that little factoid. I don't think
What
that's what
people
they're
wear.
for. There's no way
No,
they
it
market
is.
them.
Like, it's
No, fuck
marketed.
off.
It's literally
No,
marketed as
no,
Ford tampon
no.
holder.
It,
And it has,
they better
like,
be blunt size. They better be blunt
JC
size, and they're trying to fucking be undercover about their shit in states where, you know, you ain't allowed to smoke weed or something. I don't know. Now it's a stretch. Now Occam's razor says you're fucking doing too much, bro.
Occam's razor says it's just a tampon holder.
It does. It does. Fuck.
And Ford website, when you go to the reference number, it literally says tampon holder.
Jesus Christ. But again, tampons are they're like the size of a blunt, maybe? I don't know.
No, it's I mean, a big ass blunt. That motherfucker rolling 3.5s in that motherfucker.
The
Damn.
Titans, the Titans, yeah. Well, hey, dude, if you're fucking driving a Raptor, bro, those trucks are expensive. You're rolling fucking entire ace at a time. Hell yeah.
Squishing the blunt in between it, so it's hell. Like, you need 3 of them locked and loaded at any time. Like, what are we doing?
All right, fine. It's not a blunt holder. Jesus Christ, it's disgusting. Will it hold bottles of paint?
They're very thin.
Okay, they have to be gigantic
Stick-shaped.
blunts, but thin, stick-shaped fucking bottles of paint?
Well, I mean, a bottle of paint is way thicker than a blunt. What are you doing? What the fuck?
No.
What kind
A
of bottles
bottle-
of paint are you?
A Titan, like one of those fucking
That is.
you don't know what a fucking
The man expects everyone just to know fucking bottles of paint by the name.
No,
Like,
a
that's
Philly,
your
a
world.
Philly Titan, bro. A Philly Titan is the size of a fat ass blunt. That's the blunts that you can put a whole eighth in, bro. A Philly Titan. Act like you fucking know, bro. Goddamn.
Backwoods. Maybe from where you're from, where I'm
Man,
from.
Backwoods
put
didn't even
3.5 in
exist.
Backwoods.
Backwoods didn't exist when I was a kid. They didn't sell them. Plus, they look really cheap, bro. I'm just saying. Backwoods looks
Yeah.
so cheap. Okay, well,
Not Backwoods.
like look up a Philly Titan. Those have existed since you were before you were
By
born.
the way,
Why?
Philadelphia is the most racist state. Racist
Okay,
city,
I'm just
say.
saying Philly Titan.
Racist Titan. is what you're saying.
I believe Boston is
They're neighbors, bro. That's like fucking.
they're
like,
in the
come on.
running, but they're in the running for most
They're
racist
literal
city.
neighbors right there. Like,
I just-
yeah,
I just-
so.
I just don't see how you figure out which one of them is more racist. Is what I'm saying.
Well, you got a football game in Philadelphia. Yeah, you get the fuck out. They're screaming at old ladies, bro. Like,
In Boston, they literally scream. They had to put up signs, no screaming the N-word. Why do you need a sign for that? How often is it happening that you need to put a sign up that says no N-word? Like what?
today at least.
It's kind of like you know what? To this day, I wonder if Pine State Biscuits was undercover, bro. Like if it's really like a nod to the Nazis. Because why do you need a no Nazi sign? Well, that's not necessary, is it?
Yeah, I've seen like so many things with fucking, I guess like punk and like metal, whatever. They have punk is probably more a thing. They have like no Nazi like patches and stuff, and
Yeah.
people are like, oh, if I see this and it has swastika, then I'm gonna come up and pluck it off with my fucking patch rip or whatever, patch removal. Whatever.
Sure.
Someone's like, bro, if you walk up to someone wearing no Nazi stuff and you start trying to take it off, they're gonna think you're a Nazi. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't understand. Like, oh, let me take that. I don't like you saying no Nazi. They're like, what the fuck, beat you out.
Yeah.
You look like the Nazi.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. A skinhead walking around dressed like someone that is a Nazi, but saying, hey, look, I'm not a Nazi. That makes sense, okay? But why do you need it at your restaurant? Like, why do you have to say no Nazi? Like, no shit. They're not allowed anywhere. What are you talking about? Like, we literally hunted them. We're still looking for those motherfuckers. If we find one right now, they go to jail immediately. Like, what do you? Yeah, no shit, no Nazis. They're not allowed anywhere. What's the point of putting that sign up? To me, it's a little bit like an undercover. Like, oh, if I put a little no sign, I can hang a swastika. You know what I mean? It's like. Or I could just go and play some COD Zombies and make my own map and hang lots of swastikas. It's just up to, it's just, what do you want to do with your time?
Much more fitting.
Anyways. What's up, viewers? How you guys doing? You guys are the best. You really keep me going. Every day. Sometimes I'm like, how am I going to make it through this day? Oh, that's right. The viewers will get me through it. Just kidding. What viewers? All right. Anyways, I'd be really disturbing, like to hear what it sounds like from the outside of my garage, like somebody hearing this happen.
What fuck? Why am I even still here? Yeah, what's going on in there? Ugh. God damn it.
You ever wonder if you killed yourself on stream, people would show up to watch? Yeah, me neither.
Nope.
Yeah, me neither.
Like happened like the other night on TikTok, believe it or not.
What?
Boy, different subject.
What?
Yeah, some dude was getting bullied on TikTok, and people were in the comments like, fuck you, dude. He's like, oh yeah, noose.
What?
Right on TikTok Live, yep. Hung himself on TikTok Live while people were still actively bullying him. Like, oh god, wait a minute. What?
Do they stop?
You'd hope so, right?
Probably didn't
And now,
stop.
like, the people who were bullying him were like, oh my god, rest in peace. I'm like, bro, you're the one who did it. What are you talking?
Seriously, the same people?
Yeah, you know, like, that's always how it is. Fucking, oh my god, rest in peace. You're a beautiful soul. Like, bro, you were the one bullying. Like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, well,
Further gaslighting.
I guess he was like a Call of Duty cosplayer, and allegedly they texted or they messaged with Call of Duty, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna put a skin in the game for him." Who knows if that's real? But
Who cares? Putting a skin in. Oh, we're gonna make some money for this from off
There-
this
people
motherfucker.
were saying like,
Off his
"Oh, they
death?
better give all the proceeds to his family." Someone's like, "They definitely won't do that." Someone's like, "They definitely will." Someone's like, "No, they definitely won't." You don't know Call of Duty. They definitely not gonna do that. Maybe like a quarter, maybe 50, but even then, that's probably not.
Why do you always have a fucking story that correlates to what I'm talking about? Jesus Christ.
Why are you talking about shit happens?
Jesus Christ, man. You said, why are you talking about shit that happens? I was trying to fucking... I was imagining. I was using my imagination. And you're telling me it's real.
It happened the other day. But hey, people did show up. The answer is yes.
Huh?
Huh?
So you're telling me there's a chance?
They tell me I can get a Call of Duty skin. I start dressing up. It's a joke, everybody. Calm down.
Everybody, who are you talking to? There's nobody here.
That's the joke.
All right.
Right.
Oh. Nintendo sold a single new Wii U this year. But what's the story behind that?
One Wii U.
Hamas video spreads across some social media apps. Yeah, what do you guys want to jump in and help out? Like, why are you telling me about it? Right?
Well, I guess like, oh, God, man, super cringy. I guess some like, fucking, I don't know. These people, I don't know exactly what political party they belong to, but they were like, oh, people fucking fantasize about overthrowing the government, and then they're like, these people, and they're talking about Hamas. And people are like, bro, that's like literally the equivalent of terror. Like, you don't understand. It's not like a normal American going to fight against the government. That's like a terrorist organization being created and then going to fight. Like, that's not. Those are just people. Those are like a terrorist organization. Those aren't Palestinian people. I don't think you understand that. Like, they are Palestinian, but they don't like speak for Palestine. It's like
Hamas is a Iran-backed paramilitary organization.
but they are.
There's a bunch of
They're
dudes with
terrorists,
guns,
no.
and they get money. Well, I would argue that anyone holding a gun and pointing at somebody is a terrorist.
Sure.
There's no way that Israelis aren't terrorists. Israelis are definitely terrorists for what they've been doing to Palestinians. They're terrorizing
against bad people, and like civilians are caught in the crossfire. Don't get confused and be like, "Oh, fuck all Palestinians." Like, it's not that. It's not fuck
Exactly.
all Israels either. It's like there's certain people in these communities that are, but not all of them. You get, I mean, not every. I'm sure the numbers are probably more skewed, but like I don't.
Okay, get this. So, in response to some people showing solidarity for Palestine, trying to say, hey, pump the brakes on just hating, like, don't associate Palestine with Hamas. We don't like what Hamas did either. Those people were accused of being anti-Semitic, and some Jewish organization paid for a truck to drive around campus with the names and pictures of those students that signed that bill.
It's like the whatever program. It's like, hey, don't even like, they don't want people to even talk about it on social media because there's a website that gets created, and anyone put on there can be like put on a no-fly list and all these other exclusions just because they're speaking out in support of Palestine, I believe.
Yeah, they're being
like
put on a
website.
They're putting
like,
on. They're saying that you're anti-Jews.
Yeah,
they're saying
you
you're
put up this
anti-Semitic.
registry, and then you're pretty much excommunicated from anything that they're involved in. Like, you're not allowed to be part of our society anymore.
The Jewish kids at the school, the leader of the Jewish Union at the school was like, "Whoa, we don't support that either. Get those trucks out of here. Like, these people have a right to like, we don't think that they should be supporting this bill that they're all signing." But we also see, like, they're, as Palestinians, like, they're advocating for peaceful, for basically less innocent Palestinians to die in the crossfire. And like, also, what's wrong with that? We support them on that matter. Like, and so it's a lot more nuanced. And so when I joke around and I go, well, right now, dude, the majority of them are in the wrong place of history, and even their own, like, there's like strife amongst even, you know, the young Jews saying, what the fuck are you guys doing, to the older Jews that don't give a fuck, bro. They're set in their ways and are. I was reading about this thing. So apparently there's like this culture when you're a Jew of, like, you know how, like, I'm super vigilant about people that are racist because it affects me. Well, Jewish people are no different. They're hyper vigilant about anti-Semitism to the point where, I guess in those ways we have a lot in common, to where they're like, their goal is to attack anti-Semitism, basically. And it's called Zionism. You ever heard of Zionism?
Yep. And
so they believe that as, like, the last descendants of Jesus Christ on earth, that they have a duty, an obligation to violently defend their beliefs. They believe that Zionism basically wants its believers to believe that they are constantly under threat, that things like World War II will never stop coming after them, and they'll always be in a state of war to practice their religion. It's really negative, honestly. It's a really negative mentality, and a lot of the younger Jewish people don't abide by Zionism. But right now, they're saying events like this are what shoves millions of people back and forth across that line, like on that fence. There's a million people sitting on that fence, but things like this, the Hamas attack, and you literally have articles like this one guy saying, I just pulled it up. It just keeps rotating out, but here it goes. He goes, I don't really have any other choice. Young Israelis around the world return home after the Hamas attacks. So they're creating a new generation of Zionists that believe they have to, that they're being forced to defend themselves. And it's a semi-paranoid thought. For the record, in case there's anyone out there listening, because there's not, I have 0 viewers, so it doesn't matter, but it's just two people sharing their opinions. But it is my opinion that that's a negative mentality to have, and that I would argue that no matter what you do, you're never going to be able to get rid of Judaism. Like, that's not, you cannot accomplish that. So why would you be overly scared that someone's going to eradicate something they cannot destroy? Like Batman said, I've become more than a man. I'm an idea. You can't destroy me. Can I it doesn't matter how many Jews I kill, I cannot kill Judaism. Like, that's basically what the message is. But Zionists are like, to a certain extent, I feel like they're part of the problem, because they're basically saying, oh no, you're coming after me. Give me a gun. I need all the guns I can have. You're coming. U.S., give me better guns. Give me more guns, because they're coming after me, and I'm against all that shit. But anyways, I think it's really sad. It's really sad to see. I've always, it's sad to see peace in the Middle East become relevant again. Just goddamn, the last thing we needed was another fucking war, and it's just gonna cause more problems. Politicians everywhere and economists will use it as an excuse to say, oh, we need more weapons, or we need more higher gas prices, and people will be paying more at the pump and at their groceries, and the world just became a shittier place thanks to those Hamas attacks. So it's not like I support what those people did, although I recognize that they were striking back, so to speak. I don't know. That war goes back so far. Who's the first? Who was the first one to be done dirty?
Also, what is it? History is written by the victors. So really, who was the first in the history books? Then in reality,
we'll never know. We'll never know. All I know is that these people won't stop fighting. Like we said that the other day. That's still true. Very little, I don't know, I don't want to be negative, but I would say little to nothing. We have no control over this issue. It's one of those things we don't even have.
It's crazy how many things in life are all happening on so many different scales. Like, you go down to like the microscopic fucking, you got these cells fighting with these other cells. Never gonna stop. Life is just war, In essence, you go down to the little ants and fucking beetles fucking fighting to survive, butterflies, humans fucking in like the state level, they have gangs. Then you go up to country level, fucking countries fighting against each other. It's literally all just the same shit. Okay.
You have such a good point. You got a really good point right there, bro. And that's why the ancient Mesoamerican cultures practiced war as a seasonal affair. There were seasons they felt war was necessary in life. One of the things that they did
is war.
Yeah. It's how do you conduct your war? Because you can do two things. You can rape and pillage, or you can adopt. Because that's what the Mesoamericans had time. Like, this is why they freely went to war in the war seasons. They felt comfortable because they knew that if they died at battle, that their wife and children would be taken care of. They'll be adopted by a new family and taken, fed, and they'll have a place to sleep and all that shit. They won't be raped and murdered, and that's what you're literally protecting yourself against. Like, when an Israeli soldier comes down your block, your Palestinian mother might be raped and murdered. When a Hamas person's coming down your block, your Israeli mom might be raped and murdered. These motherfuckers need to fight with honor. That's the first thing. They don't have any honor in their when they fight at all, and it's possible. It's possible to fight with honor. Are they doing it? Hell no. Completely dishonorable the way they're doing things. But again, where does it start? Because there's dishonorable things happening on both sides of that line. Maybe we'll never stop being able to fight. Maybe we should just embrace it.
I mean, you always just gotta think, like, even if life was fine and like there weren't any wars going on,
we'd be boxing.
It would just swap to something else that would be the problem.
Sports.
It's not like there's not a new problem that would happen.
We play sports in lieu of fighting.
Problem,
I think
this new problem's gonna come up. Oh, you solve that problem, this whole new put the resources to solve one problem, and you leave resources off the table to create new problems. I think human lives would be a little bit more on the
At the end of the day,
table.
Are we
it's really like
are we fighting? Are we fighting over resources or not? I think that's what needs to be decided. If you're fighting over idealisms, then you're never gonna fight. You're never gonna finish that war. If we can at least all agree we're fighting because there's not enough food to go around, we can just solve that problem. Create food for everybody, and everybody can stop fighting. create energy for everyone. Everybody can stop fighting. The problem we have with Israel and Palestine and everyone on that side of the border, it's not just Palestine, by the way. It's basically Israel and the U.S. and all of the other countries that are on that fight, and a lot of them are unified together. A lot of them are under Israel. I don't really know the nuance of it. Maybe Jordan is like backed up with us, and maybe maybe Morocco isn't. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. What I do know is that they're fighting over a block, bro. How are you gonna get them to get, like, you're never gonna get them to agree to that because they both think that block is theirs. They're like gang members, bro. They're worse than gang members.
That's what I'm saying. It literally just scales.
It
on a different
sucks.
scale.
It
It's like
sucks. You can solve a lot of
smaller scale
wars
things.
by having unlimited resources and giving them to the people that were fighting those battles, because a lot of battles are being fought over resources. That fight's not happening over a resource. Those people are rich on both sides of that aisle and just want the same fucking piece of land. They're fighting over a piece of land, man. And you can't duplicate it. It's got a holy meaning to both sides of it. Both of them want it for their own. Both of them are some bitch ass
like,
greedy motherfuckers at the top, bro. Like,
not even just want it. They believe that it's their right to be on the.
the more I study Jewish leaders, they're bitch made as fuck. They have zero honor. They're hella bitch made, and they're little bitches, dude. That's the only way I could describe Jewish leaders is they're little bitches. And I got and there's that's the only way to describe the Ayatollah of Iran. Fucking Saddam Hussein was a bitch made ass motherfucker. Like, they're all bitch made, bro. None of them are cool people. None of them are cool people. They're all bitch made on both sides of that. You got to get rid of the leadership. You got to get young people in there, man. I need a young, strong Palestinian and a young, strong Israeli to settle their differences. I don't care what sex or what neighborhood they come from. They need to be able-bodied. Maybe just have them duke it out, and whoever loses that fight gets to fucking rock Gaza Strip for the next year, and then you guys get your next two champions,
right?
Like, and like, let's figure out a way where people aren't dying.
Do
You guys,
something. Like, let's just stop killing the children. Whatever we do, let's stop killing women and children. Let's have like grown men go out here and like.
You guys want to duke it out? Yeah.
Bro,
I tell you what, you guys get to have the Gaza Strip for the next week if you beat my ass, and then we'll meet back here next Sunday.
That's all you.
And hey, you can't be mad if your dude got his ass beat. You take it and you walk off, bro. And how about this?
You got tents over here. You guys have the houses. You guys get the house this week. They get the tents if they lose. Like, just figure something out, bro.
Seriously, man. Realize how stupid you guys are fucking fighting over a piece of land. At the end of the day, one of you guys should maybe say, "You're all right, you can have it."
That's where it just comes down to like, it's our right to have this,
Yeah, bro. All right, you know what? You guys are stupid. I'm just gonna say it. I'll be the first to say you guys are dumb. You're silly fighting over a piece of land, and I don't care how special. Guess what? Everybody has special land everywhere. The Native Americans, they care more about their land than you do. And so you're not the only one whose land got taken, man. You need to take that shit on the chin and stop fighting entire wars over that shit. That's just dumb. You know how many people Native Americans are killing because you stole their land? Zero. Be a fucking man.
How many they should be killing?
They should. They have every right. They're just as angry as you are, but they don't act like little bitches about it.
Go out there still scalping people. Like, this is how we're gonna get our land back.
You know how it's funny when you interact with these fools because they're bitch made when it comes to American culture, and they're like they don't get it, and like even Ali G is like making fun of one side of that, and like there's like he makes fun of both sides of that actually. And so, like, perfect example, bro. Ali G for the last 35 years is like, bro, let's go make fun of these like Middle Eastern motherfuckers. They're goofy as hell. Like they're hella goofy. They're hella weird towards women. Like, let's go make fun of these motherfuckers. And he's right. And at the end of the day, it's like, how are we, bro? Like, all these fools need to get bitch slapped and have take a seat, you bitch ass motherfucker. Like, seriously, because that's the only way we're gonna solve these problems. They're fighting over a piece of land. Like, anybody that has any sort of foresight or even cares about their people would be like, you know what, this needs to stop. This needs to stop. Like, we shouldn't. By the way, and here's in case it's no different than us. That's why when I took that trip, it didn't make any sense to me, bro. when I realized that the entire Pacific Northwest is entirely empty for the most part, besides just these islands of land. They're separated by seas of green. It might as well be an ocean, and it might as well be an island. And you have to get a truck or a boat to get the resources there, or a boat then a truck or whatever, a combination of boats and trucks to either get around the water, rivers, oceans, whatever, across those mountains. But there's a sea of green or a sea of blue that separates like these islands of civilization, and the Pacific Northwest is so empty that it's exactly that, man. I mean, those entire times we were driving 6 hours across some national parks that belong to native land. We were driving across this one park for like 6 hours. We were in there. There was nothing inside of it. There's nothing. And I'm not saying we need to force them and take that, like, oh, wait, you know what? We're taking our land. No, even around it, there was plenty of land. It's just the resource allocation, right? So it's like, we need to work on that. If that's that big of an issue, right now we have a housing issue. Our people are concentrated in mass around certain cities, and there's not enough homes there. We need to spread. We need clean water everywhere. We need food available everywhere. And the internet's a necessity. Electricity and the internet has to be distributed everywhere across these vacant areas, and people could start to spread out and actually have decent lives. And when you look at, I've had this conversation with you before, but I'll have it again. When you look at things like Star Wars, they live in a future where they can live like in a barren desert wasteland because they literally have the technology to mine water out of the air. So they don't have to worry about certain things. They can literally just use the humidity and distill water from it to survive, and use that to grow their little mushroom crops or whatever underground. And they have, super advanced tunneling equipment. So in a place that doesn't have anything like a desert, they just build all of their homes underground. And what's cool about, it's like they live in these futures where we've figured it out. Like they can harness power. First off, they have reactors that are small enough to power their own starships, faster than light starships, by the way, FTL. It's really cool, like seeing in a world like that. And we should really be in a hurry to advance our civilization to get to at least the less sci-fi of those technologies, like the ones that focus around water conversion and food, resource allocation. We're within 25 years of like really breaking through some insane tech on that, and it would help, man. There's still all those all those communities in Africa that have starving babies. Like, why is there a single starving baby? How do we have trillionaires? They had to figure out another word beyond billion. How do we have the next level of richness, right? How many corporations have reached the trillion? I think it's 3 or 4 of them have reached the trillion now. So you have Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, whatever companies there are that have done it, reached $1 trillion of wealth. And we still have starving babies in Africa. That only takes like a few thousand to solve. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Our priorities are all fucked. And we need to seriously, like, and that's crazy because we didn't have those technologies in the 90s, and we were still trying to help those people. And to a certain extent, I'm sure somebody out there is, like, there's like missionaries that still go to Africa to this day. You hear about them, like young religious people going to help and shit like that. But that's weird because we started fighting that war to try to help those babies like 50 years ago, bro. We should have won that war by now. They should all be fed.
Still fighting that war, guys?
Ridiculous.
We're doing.
All those babies should have been fed. And you look at Americans, bro, you look how much taller we are, especially as immigrants. Like, you ever notice how immigrants' children are way taller than them? That's all the nutrition in our food, bro. Enriched white bread, enriched wheat flour, enriched rice. Everything we eat is enriched, isn't it? So it's like, and concentrated. And so it's like everything. So that's why, and that's a technology and a gift we could have already given to the world. We've lost focus for sure. And there's enough bickering and war and shit popping off that there's the excuse there's like all this bullshit. It's like, we should not be having those excuses. That's the first thing. It's just crazy. Again, those some wars are easy, some wars are really hard because some greedy motherfuckers will never want to stop trying to take over their country. For example, you're always gonna have people fighting over that form of land. But the religious zealots, man, they're probably the worst, because in the future where both of them are living good lives, and they already to a certain extent are, by the way, they've gotten in their own way and keep fighting with each other and making it worse for everyone in their region for a long time now. Technology isn't going to solve that problem. Man, I saw this really, man, I really like studying the Antikythera mechanism, because what it does is allows you to realize how things take time to develop. And so when you look at something like, for example, and I think I've said this to you before too, but I'll give you a small reminder. When you look at something like, really anything, but just take something really grandiose and memorable like the Great Pyramid of Giza. When you look at that, you think, oh, you know, wow, it was built, you know, whatever they tell you, whenever they tell you that it was built, what is immediately not obvious, it doesn't become obvious until you start to break down the process in which it takes to build this thing. What you come to realize is that it must have taken 5 times the amount of time to figure out how to build it than it took them to build it. The cultures that had to develop to make these technologies developed over the eon. Did it take, it was built 50,000 years ago, but did it actually take 200,000 years for humans to learn how to make it? Or, what have you. And so with the Antikythera mechanism, it was really interesting. I saw it brought up in this funny show that I watched that's full of like alien conspiracies and bullshit like that. And I wanted to like literally laugh out loud when it was theorized by the host of the show that aliens could have been at all involved, because I watched this channel on YouTube called ClickSpring, which is amazing, that he goes through and he's basically built a workshop in his backyard, and he's basically trying to figure out at what point in time in our human history could you have made this thing, and basically reproducing that by him and one worker that he has with him that he's using as like, okay, this shot, like it's like at any play, it doesn't matter what you're making. You make knives, you make ashtrays, you guys make roofs, whatever, especially if it's a thing like you could hold in your hands, or let's say it's a sword, like especially when it's a crafted item, whoever made that thing usually was taught by somebody really that knew a lot about this area, and is usually imparting their knowledge to someone else. There's usually a craftsman apprentice and a master, and so he has a person in an apprentice role that's doing all this work for him as he does it. Sometimes 2 people are 100% needed to complete a task, or he's trying to see, does it need a third? Would I have needed a third apprentice to achieve this thing? So far it looks like one person in a little, you'd have to have an open air square, he said, because the smoke, accumulation of smoke would kill anybody that was working on this thing if it was like the fire that you need, right, to make all this metal. Super hot fire needed to involve an open air area. So that's why when you imagine like you in a medieval movie, you see like a blacksmith working, either the sides have no walls, you can just walk into their area that they're working in, and they have a thatched roof, I guess, for if it's rainy there, or and in some situations you might see like just an open area, right? Like when, like around, like in Diablo, when we go up to the dude that's chilling around, he's just like in an open area, like there's nothing above him or around him. So they're saying like you just need a clearing, an area like that, so that the smoke can dissipate, it doesn't hurt anybody that's working, and then you need about this much space. Any more space than that is unnecessary, but you at least need this much space. And he's just like drawing out a little thing. So he started to build it in his backyard. And then this is the crazy part, is like he would be like, okay, what I'm not gonna do is there's other YouTube channels that have proven that you can go and get enough sand and make your own iron ore just off filtering sand and melting it. And you can go to a mine and you can mine out your own, chunks of rocks and get more metal out that way. So the one thing we're going to agree on is that humans are capable of mining these metals out of the planet. And then he goes and orders, stock of this metal, and then he works on it in his workshop with his one apprentice, and they're building an Antikythera mechanism by hand. And what one rule, like, all right, I've been talking for a while now. I feel like the last thing I really want to say about this that's really interesting, actually, is that because that's kind of cool how he's making that. Somebody in that show was saying was like a scientist dude was saying that one of the most interesting things that they think about the Antikythera mechanism is that they were so close. At the end of the Greco-Roman Empire, they were making machines, and they had craftsmen that had been working for so many hundreds of years undisturbed, like passing their craft from master to apprentice, that they were making like such complex and crazy machinery that they were probably within 25 to 50 years of figuring out the technology that we figured out. And this is as our society, like they think that less than 100, way less than 100 years more, basically, and they would have had rocket ships or whatever, like they would have been making airplanes and things like that, and had computers and things. They think that they were 25 to 100 years away from breaking into those technologies based on the things like the Antikythera mechanism, because although not 100% precise, it's literally one of the most, it was probably one of the most precise things. Whoever was making that was obviously had learned from people that also knew that level of precision. And so the last thing I was going to say is, you can look back into our near past, and you can see that around the 15th century, I think, don't quote me on this, it could be 16th, could be 14th, I forget, but there were these dudes in Europe, maybe France, Austria, I don't remember where, that basically developed a sets of very precise measuring equipment. And they were able to reproduce these things a couple hundred times to where like there was 200, 300 that existed in the world. And it was the production of these very precise measuring systems. But when I say measuring systems, because some of them are pretty elaborate, they involve entire tables, and the tables fold out and they like work with each other to measure things. It's not like just as simple as a tape measure, obviously, but it was very precise ways of measuring things and flatness and degrees and all this stuff. And it was around that time, man, dude, it's crazy. So they were able to, so my point is, once a civilization is able to start measuring very precisely, the products that it starts to produce are just crazy. Like the technology just bursts from there. First, you figure out, how can I measure something super tiny and small and intricate? Next thing you know, you're making the gears that drive any vehicle, any machine. You know what I mean? That's what it takes. Because sloppy gear work will end up with a machine that will just easily break itself. Even if it is possible, even if you make those old automatons, a lot of them are broken because the gears have slipped, or they've degraded or whatever. When you have a properly working machine, like a fine crafted watch, that thing will last forever, right? You just need some lubrication, and those gears are perfect. They work such in sync that they'll never break. They're just moving around each other perfectly. So, what does it take to do that? It takes very precise measuring. So the Greco-Romans had reached that level of precision, and unfortunately, the Persian Empire came along and started a war that set them off. And by the way, the Persians did not have anything of that level of precision. So it set the whole world back. If they would have remained in power for another 100 years, they think, they would have started to make things like televisions and radios and shit like that. They would have figured it out, because it takes, you to make a radio, this thing needs to be exactly 4 millimeters apart here and blah, blah, blah millimeters. And the second you fuck that math up, it's like, it doesn't work so good anymore. So that's why it's like, and like when they analyze machines from the past, people will be like, there's actually a word for it. I forget what it's called, but the word means that thing is too complicated to have existed in the past. But what's really awesome about ClickSpring is they are defying that number. They're like, no, dude, look what I did in my backyard with one apprentice with handmade tools, and I made this thing, kind of showing that level of precision. Well, the ancient Greeks were around for like 10,000 years. I don't even know how long. Anyways, so old that they didn't know about each other. Like there's different names for it, but it's essentially the same culture. And they came along, like the people that built the Parthenon, they used some super flat, gigantic stones that were already laid out on the floor, and they built Parthenon above that. They had no idea who laid out it. The Phoenicians who came before them and the Babylonians and stuff, nobody knew. More than likely, though, what we like, you know, if we're going to use Occam's razor and we're going to try to make our best guesses, what would tell us is that their ancestors built it. Like the people they directly descended from that lived on that land. You know, well, probably wasn't aliens, but if you believe in aliens, then you're gonna want to blame them for everything. You want to use aliens as a when you're into aliens, everything looks like an alien to you. It's like when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Now that I know more about the world, like watching something that is so man-made and so precisely, it's like a thing we should be proud about. It's like, oh, that's hella cool. That's a thing definitely that humans made. In fact, we got a guy studying the shit out of it. He's a doctor wherever he is, and you know, him and his students are literally just evolving a whole practice of study that studies these old mechanisms. Basically, they're probably gonna have to come up with a new word for it, an Antarctician or something like that. It's like a scientist that studies this thing, this school of scientific doctors that are studying this thing. And for this guy to be like, it was aliens, like I wanted to fucking laugh. I'm like, no, it's no. So probably nothing's aliens, honestly. What it made me in that moment, I felt like, oh my god, it's so silly to try to blame something on aliens, and it's just, you just don't understand it. You don't understand what you're looking at. Anyways, you want to play some video games?
Yeah.
You try to play some CS or some Warzone?
Whatever, Mike.
Play a little Warzone, a little CS, a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll. Cheers.
A little bit of onion, a little bit of cheese.
Oh hell yeah! All joking around, onion goes good with cheese.
Let me get a chopped cheese.
That's a Philly cheesesteak. Racist.
I can rate this. That's true.
It's a racist cheesesteak. Then you try to take a bite of it, it starts cursing you.
Hey, you think you can eat me? What the fuck is that?
You blah blah blah. And it's like you don't even know what that means.
What's that mean?
It's a racist term food uses on humans.
Blah blah blah.
You eater.
God.
My bad, Ida.